I'm Stacy Gordon. Welcome to That's My Jam. If you watch my videos very often, then you know there are a lot of dishes that I make that I say, this is a regular at my house. And that's absolutely true. But there are a few dishes that are my family's all-time favorites. Today we're going to be making one of those. When my son was pretty young, he showed an interest in wanting to be able to cook, probably because he loves to eat. This is one of the first dishes I ever taught him to make. He still makes it to this day for himself and his fiance. It's super delicious, it's easier to make than you might think, and it's guaranteed to be a family favorite. Today, we're going to be making my version of chicken Alfredo. Our first step is going to be getting a pot of some nice salty water on the stove, medium-high heat, and bring that to a boil. I make my chicken Alfredo in a wok, so we're going to have that ready on the stove. No heat on that just yet. I've washed my hands, found my meat cutting board, and we're about to cut up 2 nice chicken breasts. Tiny bit of fat to trim off of these. And we're going to start cutting these into strips. My rule of thumb is 1 chicken breast for every 2 people. So we're going to make enough today for about 4 people. Once we get those into strips, we're going to turn them the other way and cut them into dices. I'm going to pour a little olive oil into my wok, maybe about 2 tablespoons, and we're going to get that on some medium-high heat. My oil is hot. We're going to add our chicken right to the wok. Little salt and some Italian seasoning. Now we'll saute this chicken. Our water has started bubbling, so we're going to add our pasta. A lot of people like to make this dish with fettuccine. My personal favorite is linguine. I'll be using a 1-pound package of that today. Let's get that in our water. While the pasta is cooking, let's go back and tend to this chicken some more. Once it looks like our diced chicken is fully cooked, we're going to move on to the next step. This is probably the right time for me to tell you this is not the most heart-healthy dish. However, it is incredibly delicious and everything in moderation, right? With that being said, we're going to leave the drippings in our wok and we're going to add about 1/3 stick of butter. Right in she goes. Next, we'll add about half of this quart or about 16 ounces heavy cream. Again, right in the wok with everything else. Now we're going to add some shredded Parmesan cheese. This is about 1.5 cups. We're adding it all. Teeny bit more salt. And we are going to add plenty of cracked black pepper. I'm going to turn this down to a medium heat, and we're just going to start working in the cheese, the butter, and the cream. I'm not a person who likes garlic in my Alfredo, but if you like, you can add a little bit of that also. I prefer to keep it with the basic ingredients: butter, cream, Parmesan cheese, some salt, and plenty of black pepper. When you learn how easy it is to make your own Alfredo sauce, you're never going to want to use the kind from a jar again. The longer this cooks, the thicker it gets, but we don't want to scorch it, so keep an eye on it and make sure you've reduced your heat down to a medium. Our pasta is looking good. I think we've timed this just about right. I'm going to turn that pasta off, and we're still working this Alfredo. I feel like this is just about ready. I'm going to drain my linguine. I'm removing this from the heat, giving it one final stir to make sure nothing is scorching or nothing is sticking. Now I'm just going to take this linguine and toss it right in my wok. I'll use some tongs to stir all this around, blend it together. This looks crazy good, and we're ready to get it on a plate. You can add a little parsley if you're fancy like that. I love to top this dish with some diced up homegrown tomatoes. I don't have any more of those for this season, so we're just going to enjoy it as is. You're probably going to be a little shocked by how quick, easy, and delicious this dish is. In the event that you have leftovers, you can reheat it. Just put it back in a pan on some lower heat, and if you need to, you can add a tiny bit more cream or even some half and half or milk. I'm going to go ahead and label this dish as one of my family's favorites. If you're a fan of chicken Alfredo, I got a feeling it's going to be one of your favorites too. Make sure you tune in next Monday. It'll be TMJ's 100th video. You know I'm going to make that special for you. In the meantime, turn off the TV, turn on some music, and just keep jamming.